Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxwood, a technical trader at TechTrader.com. It is June the 12th, and that is Tuesday. The markets had a pretty interesting day today. It's kind of volatile, up and down, and they closed mixed with the NASDAQ having a strong session. A lot of stocks we followed did well. There's a lot of them to look at tonight. Let's take a quick look. Collegium, which I think now after the consolidation of several months following the big five-wave move up, is now ready for another wave up that takes this to the high 30s. At 26.74 up $1.78 today, or 7%, with volume increasing. I think that stock's ready to pop and break out. Let's take a quick look tomorrow, see if we can get above 27.90 and then take out 30. If that happens, you're on your way. CORV, this is Correvio, formerly, I forgot the name of the company, but it was recently changed. This broke out of a wedge and how yesterday, and it's following through. Looks to me like it's and right at the gap in here. This may fill the gap, or it's right in the process of. It may get to 4 3/4 pretty quickly at that rate. You can see the longer term and intermediate term, the stock is about 6.5 3/4 into it, I think. So let's look for 4 3/4 and then 6.5. CRNT with a big day after this, the fifth wave off the low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a big fifth wave, taking it up to resistance at the 18-month high. So it may need a pullback in here, but I think eventually this is going to be 5.5, and then down the road, possibly 7, 7 1/4. Nice chart. Good technicals. CVNA, steady as she goes. The stock is now rocketed for 8 straight days or something like that, and 11 out of 12. So it's got a it's long in the tooth. It's up near the top of the channel. There may be a little bit more left in it, in the low 40s, but be careful with this one. You may need to rest, consolidate, pull back, etc. CWBR, a beautiful long multi-month coil, broke out, retested it right there, and then exploded off of that yesterday. Today was a reversal, an extension day, and just based on this pattern there and that pattern there, I think this is a $12 to $14 stock short term. 3D Systems, beautiful base, popped to resistance, pulled back in a nice orderly flag, and then ran again, flagged, broke out. Today, after popping, it did pull back near the breakout point, so I'm looking for an extension to 15 3/4, 17.5, 18.5, something like that. ELOX extending. Yeah, I told you 2 days ago that big tail usually is bullish for follow-through, and he got that. Today reaching all the way up to 21.5. Now just 3 days ago, this stock was trading at 13. So it may be extended, it may need to consolidate, but it's got strong momentum. And really good technicals. Look at the OBV. Fit. Well, Fitbit has really done well with this like rounding base pattern, breakout, retest, pop, and take out of resistance. Right now, this thing looks like 840, 9 3/4, and 11 are targets, but I'd love to see a pullback setup. Nice long base pattern and a breakout with good volume. Gemphire reversed off the pullback low, off the trend line, and popped from 652 to 729, closing just a few cents off the high, up 70 cents or almost 11%. It's a thinly traded stock, but if this thing takes out 7.5, it could rocket it to 8.5 and then 11. Big day for Galmed. Now, it wasn't a good close, but it was still up. You can't ignore a gain of 1059 or 151% on 16 million shares. But this is the kind of stock that could have a secondary at any point. But I think this is going to be a good one. We shall see. I don't usually buy the first day pullbacks. I either wait for a consolidation. This one has me intrigued. GPRO. Well, GoPro also broke out along with Fitbit out of their base pattern. So you can see the rounding bottom type as well. There is a gap and some resistance right there at about 7:15.20. I suspect that's a short-term chart. Beyond that, the possibility we see the stock make a move up towards secondary target coming in around 8. Iridium broke out, popped, pulled back in a wedge, and might be going again. This is something to keep an eye on. Anytime the stock has a sharp run up like that to resistance and pulls back in an orderly wedge like that, on low volume ebb with good technicals, I'm interested in seeing how far it can go. My target's 20. KMG broke out of a basing type pattern within a larger rising channel. Big volume in a breakout, and it closed at the upper end of the range, going way up 875. Very impressed with that. I'm looking for 85, 88, 90, something like that down the road, down in the next few weeks. Copen, taking a look at the way Copen acted. More good volume, more upside. Nice reversal off the low, and you can see it's right at resistance. If this thing gets through, in my opinion, it's 385.95 zone, it's going to rocket it to the 450.60 zone, and then 5 1/4. LE Lands End had a big day breaking out of resistance and exploding for 640 or 27% on volume. Looking like it wants to extend. Perhaps the rising channel could accommodate the stock a little higher, but I'd like to see a pullback setup consolidation. NRG, love that little pattern that's forming. I think it's going to pop and break out and run up to 38. That's my target. Especially if it holds the last 3 days lows and the moving average around 32.5, 33. Looking for a wave 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nutanix with a big pop out of a wedge today exploded for 429 or 7.6%. Volume picked up to 7.5 million. The best volume on an up day since the beginning of March. This one could run. My target, 74.5. OCUL swing broke out of a base today. I'm really liking the way this is setting up as well. There's an inverse head and shoulder type base with new channels formed. I'm pretty convinced that this stock now, if we get some volume, is going to make a run at 9, 9.25, and then 11.5, 12. Our CII broke out today, yesterday I should say, and followed through beautifully today. May have a little bit more to go, perhaps up to 13.75 and then 16, but I'd love to see a setup consolidation for the next week or two. Run is really on the run and has gone from 5 to 13 and almost 14, nearly tripling in a 5-way move over the last 4 or 5 months. Now, is it extended? Yeah. Can it get up to 15? That's my target. We'll see what happens. Sky. Well, Skyline 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th wave has started and is and getting a little bit of momentum, not anything dramatic, and it's not getting ahead of itself. So I'm looking at for this to continue to work its way into the mid-40s and eventually 60 or better. TDOC. Teladoc ripping to new all-time highs today and reaching my target. I wanted to point that out at a 57.58 zone. Next target in the high 70s, but there may be something in between that and around 65.68. Teva broke out yesterday, the day before, and today followed through. I'm looking for 26, 31, and 34. Great looking chart. Tandem, unbelievable. For stock to go from 2 to almost 18, 9-fold that quickly. It's oversold, it's overbought, it's extended, but the momentum is phenomenal. I would not be shocked to see low to mid-20s and even as high as 30 eventually. Twilio. You can see the pop, and right at the top of this channel, if it blows through, you're looking at 66 and then 70 again. What a nice move off the lows in early February when it was trading at 23. And finally, Twitter, Monster, has moved up near the top of the channel and my target zone after having dipped down to beginning of April near 26.7 zone. Right now, 43.44. Looking good, but a little extended. If you get a pop up into the 46.78 zone, you may need to see a pullback. But eventually, I'm looking for mid-50s. And that's it for tonight, everybody. Have a good evening.